You know, I love every member of my family, despite the differences. I don't look at her as an evil stepmother. I see someone who has done everything that she can to, you know, improve her own reputation and her own...
Everything shifted when Lady Colin Campbell looked straight into the camera and boldly claimed Meghan Markle's baby bump didn't act like a real one. Now, rumors about Meghan's pregnancies have floated online for years, but this time, it wasn't just online gossip. It hit live TV, and it wasn't just anyone saying it. Two major royal biographers, Lady C and Tom Bower, known for saying the things others won't, pushed the topic right into the mainstream and even dared Meghan and Harry to take them to court. If this turns into a legal battle, it won't just be about hurt feelings. It could blow the lid off royal secrets the palace has spent years hiding. Because once court documents and testimonies come out, the truth, whatever it is, might finally be too big to cover up.
And I know this is weird, but there's one of those conspiracy theories on the internet that she might not have actually carried her babies, one or both, that they may have used a surrogate. Trust me, because I'm neck deep in all the news around these two. And there are many people who long before today are convinced she used surrogates and that her pregnancies were fake, one or both.
Tom Bower dropped a bombshell. His team reportedly searched for hospital records tied to Meghan Markle's births and came up empty. No documents, no confirmations, not even the usual behind-the-scenes royal signals. Lady Colin Campbell didn't hold back either, pointing to that now viral video where Meghan's baby bump seemed to shift unnaturally mid-interview. A clip internet sleuths have dissected for years. But this isn't some fringe theory anymore. It's making global headlines. Sources close to the Sussexes say Prince Harry is furious and lawyers are being consulted for possible defamation cases. But here's the twist: if they sue, it opens the door to discovery. That means medical records, emails, internal team messages, things that could shake not just their reputation, but potentially expose cracks in the royal narrative. And people are asking, if everything was by the book, why the secrecy? Where's the doctor's letter? Why no traditional hospital exit photos, like the ones we always saw with Kate and William's children? With Archie, Meghan vanished for weeks, then reappeared holding a wrapped-up newborn in a quick, stiff photo op that felt more staged than celebratory. With Lilibet born in California, there was no hospital name, no staff statements, just a vague press release, and that's it. The silence has people asking, what are they trying so hard to keep hidden?
Some critics are going to say, well, you're taking private struggles and you're bringing them into the public, and you're making money off of it.
For me, having seen my family and the institution's part in constantly feeding the British press with lies, mistruths, disinformation, the way that I can correct those mistruths is by writing something, the truth.
Now, let's compare. When Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis were born, we saw it all. Same hospital, same famous hospital door, same glowing mom in a white dress with a perfect blowout, holding her newborn next to a proud dad. That was tradition, predictable, public, and polished. But when it came to Meghan and Harry, silence. Then suddenly, an Instagram post. That's when people started asking, were they skipping protocol on purpose? Rumors about surrogacy deals started to bubble up. Insiders say there were strict confidentiality agreements, secret clinic visits, and even airtight legal contracts that could rival palace-level security. One LA attorney familiar with high-profile surrogacy hinted that all the signs were there: controlled timing, no hospital photos, and zero medical proof. If those whispers turn out to be true, it's not just about privacy. It could mean royal rules were broken. Rules that matter for titles, succession, and legitimacy. That leads to big questions. Were Archie and Lilibet born within royal protocol? Could this shake up their status in the line of succession? And why would Meghan and Harry go to such lengths to keep it quiet unless the truth was riskier than the rumors? Sources say the couple is rattled, torn between keeping quiet and launching legal action. But Lady Colin Campbell didn't flinch. She stared into the camera and challenged them to sue. That one move flipped the narrative. Now it's not just about what's true, it's about what they might be hiding. Behind the scenes, Harry and Meghan's new PR-style team in Montecito is working non-stop media meetings, damage control, urgent calls to Hollywood insiders. But it's not landing. The media isn't just shifting, it's snapping back. What once looked like a bold break from the royals now feels like a carefully planned escape from the consequences of their own choices.
As we've spoken about, this show has completely underperformed. It did not really appear on the Spotify charts. This was, of course, the podcast that she made with Lemonada Media. It's still unclear, actually, about what money has come from this podcast. So originally, when she signed up with Spotify, there was money up front. That deal went south. She signed up with Lemonada.
Even Hollywood seems to be backing away. Meghan's big podcast deal deal with Spotify canceled, her Netflix series barely made a ripple, released quietly and forgotten just as fast. Then there's her lifestyle brand, which kicked off with jam, jars, and herbal teas, only to suddenly pause production with no explanation or restock. At this point, she's shifted from a rising icon to a figure surrounded by confusion and mixed signals. Meghan calls herself a founder, a philanthropist, a champion for women, but here's the catch. Almost every project she's launched has leaned heavily on her royal title. Her connection to the crown, or the promise of palace drama, strip that away, and the question remains, what's actually left?
There has always been this competition between us, weirdly. Again, I think it really plays into, or is played by, the heir spec.
And then there's Harry. According to reports from insiders like Tom Bauer, he's more alone than ever, emotionally distant, financially shaky, and losing his footing. Old friends? Gone. Charity roles? Slowly disappearing. And while he still holds tight to the royal title, Prince William has reportedly drawn a firm line: no welcome back, no forgiveness, no public support. Behind the scenes, even King Charles has gone silent, not because he doesn't care, but because he's playing a long game. Sources say the royal family has made their position clear, and Harry and Meghan are no longer part of it. That might explain some of the strange choices we've seen lately, like launching a wine brand on Queen Camilla's birthday, or posting anniversary photo dumps that critics say look more like teenage mood boards than the legacy of a royal couple. They speak about privacy but keep showing up on every platform. That'll pay them. At this point, it seems like they want the image of royalty, but without the rules. The attention, but none of the accountability.
Them in the totality. The fact that Meghan Markle lied about the fact that she had no idea who Prince Andrew was, and spent an entire event claiming that she didn't know who he was. The fact that she lied about not knowing anything.
But what happens when the strategy starts falling apart? That's exactly what we're seeing now. The public mood is shifting. Even loyal fans are beginning to ask the tough questions. Why hasn't Princess Lilibet been seen publicly? Not once, other than a birthday photo snapped by a friend? Why were Meghan's pregnancy pictures so few, so oddly staged, with lighting that felt more like a fashion shoot than a real-life moment? And why does every official statement from their team sound vague and carefully worded, just enough to sound like an answer, without saying anything at all? Now imagine if the royal biographers like Tom Bauer and Lady Colin Campbell actually have what they say: documents, witnesses, real receipts. The fallout could be massive, not just for Meghan and Harry's image, but for the royal legitimacy of their children, for their brand in Hollywood, where image is everything, for their finances, built on the idea that they're true insiders, and for Harry's already fragile connection to the royal family. If even part of these rumors are true, the entire foundation they've built could start to crack hand fast.
There's a lot that I can forgive, but there needs to be conversations and then in order for reconciliation, and part of that has to be accountability.
Sources say the Sussexes are getting ready to fight back. Their legal team is reportedly digging through every claim, hunting for anything that could lead to a lawsuit: defamation, false intent, anything. But here's the catch. If they take this to court, they open the door to everything: medical files, emails, behind-the-scenes deals. Nothing stays hidden in a real trial. On the flip side, if they stay quiet, that silence starts to sound like guilt. Meanwhile, the biographers aren't slowing down. Tom Bauer says more is coming, more leaks, more sources, and a second book that could expose everything. If he's bluffing, it's risky. But if he's not, then we're talking about a story big enough to shake not just Meghan and Harry, but the entire royal institution.
Stupid, we get it. We see that you did know who they were, and what you've done is you've shown yourself in the past how you've tried to have the likeness of the late Diana and Catherine. And writing this article about her shows you that you clear.
And we haven't even talked about the timeline. Hidden beneath the rumors of surrogacy and broken royal rules is something even stranger. What many now call the invisible pregnancy. Those missing weeks, carefully cropped photos, changing due dates, no doctors seen, and post-birth photos that just didn't feel natural. Every gap, every delay, every strange detail now looks like a clue to a bigger story. And that story might soon land in court, because Lady C and Tom Bauer aren't just making noise, they're preparing for a legal battle. It almost seems like they want Meghan and Harry to sue them. And that's the real twist. If the couple does take them to court, they'll be forced to explain what they've dodged for years. No friendly interviews, no PR control, just hard questions, sworn statements, documents, and real answers under oath. Win or lose, everything they've tried to keep private could finally come out.
And without her, Harry's life in America is nothing. Yes,
He
exactly.
has a reputation to fall back
So they
on.
have a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, they need each other.
So now, the real question isn't just what's true, it's what they're willing to do to keep it all hidden. Because if this heads to court, things could explode. Just when the mystery around the births reached a boiling point, the attention shifted to what's really happening behind closed doors. While Meghan plays the role of calm, mindful businesswoman and mother, insiders say she's actually the one running the show, a master planner. For years, she's moved through Hollywood like it's a game of chess, pulling strings through high-end PR teams, secret deals, and carefully chosen celebrity alliances. Every post, every silence, every red carpet nod, nothing is random. But what once looked like clever brand building now feels like panic mode, because Hollywood, it's no longer buying the image and her brand. It's losing steam.
There was this story that Meghan, had her people approach someone about a divorce book. But I mean, imagine if Meghan left Harry, it would destroy her reputation. She would be eviscerated publicly because she's already slipped into this kind of category on social media, the way that pop culture commentators talk about her. They lump her in with Amber Heard. They lump her in with, these other famous women who are perceived as being narcissistic or, being controlling of their husband.
Insiders from multiple production teams have revealed that Meghan's Netflix show didn't pull in the views. Everyone expected it made noise, but not numbers. Her lifestyle brand? Sure, it launched with a splash, but nothing's been restocked. Since April, instead of updates, we got corporate-sounding promises about analyzing data and expanding hospitality sectors. Behind the scenes, though, sources say things aren't just shifting, they're stalling. Her podcast, once hyped as a big comeback, landed with barely a ripple. Even the media deal that got her back in headlines got mixed reviews. Critics say the episodes lacked substance, and instead of spotlighting powerful women, many felt more like a stage for Meghan to promote herself. One comment stood out, in particular her advice not to let anyone influence your baby's name. Fans instantly connected it to the controversy around Lilibet, and honestly, it didn't come off empowering, it came off bitter. For someone chasing billionaire mogul status, these small jabs aren't helping the image. They're raising eyebrows.